So you're saying there's a third movie?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Hello, everybody.
Welcome to ProtoBalls Talk, where we are once again joined by Vampire-Jekyll.
Yay.
He is so excited. He is so excited to be here that he's drowning out
I am
enthusiasm.
excited and maybe a little, what's the word when you don't sleep?
I know the feel.
Lethargic?
Sleep deprived. That's what I was trying to say.
Well, it's fitting that we're sleep deprived because we're talking about a movie where half the characters are pretty much sleep deprived.
Ooh, wait, that was Wes Craven.
Yeah.
We're not there yet.
No, today, this is my Recycled Balls, ProtoMet,
I'm here.
Vampire-Jekyll. Today,
We are finishing off, what is the trilogy called?
The Apocalypse Trilogy.
And
Yeah.
why is it called that?
Because the Apocalypse Trilogy.
good
Sounds legit.
Today we're going to be talking about The Thing. No, not the 1950s version.
But that's the one everybody loves.
Yes.
But how can you hate Ben Grimm? I demand recompense.
I'm sorry. No, we're talking about the 2011
Look,
version.
until he's in the MCU, nobody's going to give a two shits.
That's not going to happen unless they get a good writer. Is all I'm saying.
Today we're going to be talking about the 2011 film.
No.
What?
Oh, wait.
No.
You guys watched a different version than me?
But quite possibly.
I thought we
Oh.
were going to do this for the next video.
Cut!
No, keep going.
No. Oh,
We done goofed!
No, we're watching The Thing from John Carpenter.
Yes.
John Carpenter's The Thing.
So,
Not to be confused with The Thing from Another World.
Or The Thing, the 2011 film, as I mentioned.
Or the book Who Goes There.
Yes, so the
Or the PS2 Xbox video game titled The Thing.
which is a good game, by the way.
For the record, here's the chronology of The Thing. It's The Thing.
Or the
followed
comic
by-
books, or the board game. Okay, I think I'm exhausted.
Okay, so the official chronology is The Thing, and then The Thing. So we good to go? Let's go.
Yes. Okay, so John Carpenter's Thing is a technical remake of the 1950s movie The Thing from Another World, which is based off the 1938 John W. Campbell novel Who Goes There, which is a very good book. I highly suggest you guys read it. Oh no. So it
I got distracted.
it is as in the title, it's a John Carpenter movie, one of his earlier ones. This one was just a couple of years after he got famous off of Halloween, and I think this was a year after Halloween 2.
Never heard of it.
I guess not. I guess we haven't heard of it.
It's probably not worth checking out at any point in the near future.
Yeah.
At any point ever.
But it stars Kurt Russell in that glorious mane of hair. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. It is a beautiful set of hair on that man.
I at one point considered having my Halloween costume be McCready.
You did have the hair for it.
I did have the hair for
and
it.
the beard.
This year?
Yeah, you did have the beard for it. You should have waited until December.
Well.
It stars.
Yeah, wait until December to put on your Halloween costume. It'll be more authentic.
And then it also stars. It also stars Mr. Diabetes himself, Wilford Brimley,
Yes.
Keith David,
and
a bunch of other dudes that I couldn't be bothered to remember who played them.
Richard Dysart, Donald Moffat, Richard Masur.
Like I said, a bunch of other dudes I couldn't be bothered to remember who played.
Before we get right into the movie, when it came out in 1982, and
Everybody went to see it, and it was a financial smash, and that's why there's so many different memorabilias on the market today.
yes,
It's bigger
right.
than Pokemon.
Straight from the horse's mouth, bigger than Pokemon. No. What?
Come on, John Lennon, don't be like that.
I'm sorry.
So what? So, and came out in 1982, and if anybody's seen the podcast for a while, we keep going back to 1982. It's been in what, like 3 movies that we've talked about now?
Wait. You guys invented time travel and you didn't tell anyone?
Yes.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. God, don't tell. How else were we able to watch these movies in pristine HD theater vision?
What?
HD
The
theater.
fuck is that?
Still watching it live in the theater, fucker.
Motherfucker, we just watched these on DVD. Shh. Except for the Gundam movies. We watch those on Blu-ray.
So yeah, 1982, Star Trek 2,
The Gundam trilogy.
Gundam trilogy, been a bunch of other stuff. But this came out about 2 or so weeks after E.T.
So, yeah.
And it also came out like a month after Star Trek 2 as well, which was also a smash hit. So you can kind of get what people's reaction to it were. They were not favorable on the movie.
They didn't even go see it.
Critics were. I think the general consensus was that anybody who actually did go to see it was kind of shocked by
just about everything.
Just by its forward.
I have a great quote from God, what's his name? The Devil's Backbone.
Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro.
Really? You think Guillermo del Toro, and that's the first movie of his that pops into your head?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I would have thought either Hellboy or Pacific Rim.
No, it wasn't really the first movie that popped into my head. I was just trying to...
Moving along.
Yeah, okay. No, I just thought that was interesting.
There's a great quote from Guillermo del Toro when he's talking about this movie. If anybody's seen Bravo's 100 Scariest Movie Moments when this movie comes up, he says, it's an amazing visual effect movie, all these tentacles and viscera and shit. It was a smash hit in Mexico. Don't know why it didn't do so well in the States. all the Mexicans going, ah! Look at that! Not sure why it didn't do so well in the States.
It's a direct quote.
It's a paraphrase from him. He does mention Mexicans.
I don't know. I've seen it.
Yeah, but the way he describes the movie, it especially one of the scenes, which we'll get into in a bit, is down to a mathematical science. He says, Guillermo del Toro, and I think you know which scene we're referring to.
All of them.
All of that, yeah.
All of them.
Pretty much all of them. The movie is great. It is amazing at subverting expectations.
So the movie starts with a guy in a helicopter shooting at a dog in the Arctic.
Yeah, that's just how it starts.
That's how it starts.
All right, roll credits.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Best man shooting at a dog movie ever.
So,
from a helicopter.
So of course the guy in the helicopter is shooting at this dog.
We don't know what reason for it. We don't know what.
But he pursues the dog all the way to a U.S. research facility in the Arctic, where the bulk of this movie actually takes place.
And here we're
was it Arctic or Antarctic?
Antarctic.
Okay. Antarctic.
Get your shit together, man.
I can't.
U.S. Outpost 31. And it's here, and you know.
And this is where all the characters are. It's a cool place to hang out.
Yeah, everybody's chilling out.
Oh.
Get my beating club!
You already have it!
I'm out.
Anyway, this guy in a helicopter pursues this dog all the way to the U.S. research base. And he's shooting at the dog. The people at the base, they're like, the fuck is this guy?
One of them gets grazed with a bullet.
One of them gets grazed with a bullet. The guy who's in charge just decides to break a window to start shooting his gun. It's like, couldn't be bothered to open the door, had to break a window. The first
I thought that was pretty odd.
So we'll be introduced to our characters here.
That's the guy who's in charge.
Yeah, that does bother me. now that you bring it up.
And it's here that they all crowd around, and the pilot was about to throw a grenade. And he drops it.
Slips out of his hand, drops into the snow behind him. He runs for it. The guy in the helicopter is like, what? There were two guys in the helicopter, for the record. One piloting and one shooting the dog. The guy who's piloting it, he doesn't know what's going on. The helicopter blows up.
Well, no, he sees that that the grenade goes flying behind him, and he tries to recover the grenade and get it away from the helicopter. But unfortunately, he's too late.
Yes. And it's here that...
gunman.
It's here that the gunman starts ranting in Norwegian. And for those of you who are Norwegian and have seen the movie, I'm sorry you got the movie spoiled for you.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what he said translates to in English, but I understand going into the movie.
Yeah. I'm sure that must have pissed off a lot of Norwegians. Just to have them... Well, then again, the trailers would have spoiled it for you already, really.
But we're not talking about trailers.
So then we're introduced to the characters. We got R.J. McCready, the base's helicopter pilot, played by Kurt Russell, and that amazing mane of hair, yet again.
We've got Blair, the doctor, played by Wilford Brimley.
He's actually the camp biologist. He's
camp biologist.
He's the camp biologist.
He's a doctor. He's a doctor, okay?
We have Knowles, who is the cook of the outpost. He's played by T.K. Carter.
We have Childs, played by Keith David. He's a grumpy motherfucker.
And I think
was he the one that was in
Them?
Yes, he is the one that's in Them.
I don't think it's Them. I think it's... What the hell is...
They Live.
They Live. That's what I was
Them's the giant ant
Yeah,
movie.
I was like, the giant ant movie.
Yeah, well, they live. Yes, that is...
My bad.
Okay.
I wanted to say It's Alive, but that's the babe. That's like the freakish
I've seen
baby.
Them, so I don't know why I got so confused.
We have Palmer, who just happens to work there. I'm not really sure what he does. I think he's a mechanic there. He's played by David Clennon. Dr. Copper, the actual doctor on the base, he's played by Richard Dysart.
We've got Windows, played by
Thomas Waits. And Windows...
Oh, wait, what?
we got Windows, played by Thomas Waits, and he's the radiologist, and literally...
Not radiologist, he's a radio technician.
Radio technician.
There's a big difference.
I'm sorry. Hey.
Get your shit together.
I'm sorry.
Admittedly, when trying to think of what to actually call him, one of the first things I came up with was radiologist, and knew right away that was wrong.
Yeah, he's the radio...
He's the guy in charge of the radio.
The radio operator, the comms guy. He's the comms guy.
He's the comms guy, and nobody likes him. Just for the apparently, everybody is very.
I like him.
I like him too, but everybody's just very like. Well, he's kind of an asshole throughout most of the movie, so everybody's just like, "Fuck you, Windows." God, fucking Windows 98. We have Fuchs, played by Joel Polis, and he's not Fucks, it's Fuchs. He is a doctor. He is Blair's biologist assistant.
That was the guy with the beard and the glasses.
Yes,
yeah, okay.
yes.
I'm just trying to remember.
Gary, played by Donald Moffat, and trying his best American accent possible. He's the commander of U.S. Base Outpost 31. Clark, Richard...
So he's the one who breaks the window and shoots.
Gary is the one that breaks the window. We have Clark, played by Richard Masser. He is the dog handler of the base. Norris, played by Charles Hallahan, and he is the botanist. He is the base's botanist.
That is a weird requirement that they would have a botanist in the Antarctic. But
Well, you never know if you find plant life there.
I guess maybe.
I don't know. Consider what they do find.
I don't know much about Antarctica,
After
but
all,
it'd be the last place I'd expect a botanist to be.
After all, he's probably studying all that weed Palmer's smoking and growing. Yeah,
that was probably loud.
they grow weed there. And then you've got, and then you have Bennings, Peter Maloney, who's also a technician, and or George Bennings. Not really much about him. So
I'm not gonna lie. I don't recall who most of these characters were by name. I really only remembered Blair, McCready, Childs, Knowles, and that's only because you guys told me that's what his name was towards the end of the movie, and Windows.
So yeah, they kill the Norwegian dead, and they're just like, what the fuck?
To be fair, he was shooting.
He was shooting at them.
At the dog.
In their general direction.
And Gary's actually shook by this. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but after he shoots the Norwegian, he's just like, I can't believe I did that.
Well, yeah, I mean, why the hell would you break the window at your let all the heat out. We're not paying to heat all of Antarctica.
Hey, maybe they have replaceable paints.
Look, he was in charge of keys and guns, and that's it.
He couldn't even get the other half right. So they're wondering what the fuck's going on, and you know
they're not gonna get any answers from a dead man. Hey, new dog.
Hey, new dog. That's nice. So
What was the guy's name? Chuck?
Clark.
I knew it started with a C and ended with a K.
So Clark takes the dog in, and hey, it's a brand new pup. Yay.
Clark is suspicious for like the entirety of the movie.
But Clark loves his dogs. So Clark loves his dog. So they're hanging out. They're wondering, well, what the fuck's going on? And Copper is just like, well, why would they be shooting at us? This is what I'm curious about. I kind of want to go check out the base.
I don't know. Maybe we're at war with Norwegia.
Yeah.
One of the
No, maybe we're at war with Sweden. No. And that's like a running gag through the movie. I think McCready keeps calling him Sweden.
Yeah.
Until eventually he finally starts getting it right.
Knowles has the great quip. They're like, maybe we at war with Norway. Knowles is great. I love him in this movie. He's cool. Even if he doesn't really do much.
No, he doesn't.
So Copper wants to check out the base, and
so he and McCready go check out the base.
And
it is a frozen mess.
I just want to mention that I mistook McCready's hat
for a sombrero.
For a sombrero. I thought it's a sombrero, to be honest. It looked a bit big.
It was a bit big. I'm not gonna lie.
It was not a sombrero though.
It's more like a sun hat. But they go
to the Norwegian base. It's frozen over and wrecked as fuck.
And they are just finding bodies.
They find one charred corpse out in the snow,
and they find another one,
and they don't even know what the fuck that was.
The best way to describe it, it's like a two-faced mass of Lovecraftian blob.
It makes sense later, though.
It's like a dude was trying to escape from another dude.
But they were the same dude.
Oh my god!
and they find another guy in the comms room.
And his throat is just completely slashed from ear to ear.
Which I've seen the prop for the remake, the 2011 version. They actually had to recreate that prop for that movie, and they did a really good job with the recreation of it. It's pretty good.
I don't know if we'll ever be getting.
Is it one of the surviving practical effects in that movie?
Yes. I don't know if we're ever gonna do the 2011 version because it's. But spoiler alert, he committed suicide in that movie.
Obviously, his throat was slit from ear to ear.
But that doesn't signify if he committed suicide or not. That just meant he died a horrible death.
We're talking about the guy they find in
the chair.
In the chair. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. We're not talking about the thing.
Gotcha. The unknown.
Yeah, the unknown body.
But they go further into this Norwegian base and find what is basically a giant ice casket. Ice sarcophagus.
Yeah, and McCready's just like, what the fuck is this thing? And Copper and them find a bunch of, like, VHSs.
VHSs and a bunch of other documents, and they're all in Norwegian.
Cassette tapes.
Right.
VHS cassettes.
They find a bunch of VHS on DVD. On Blu-ray. On Netflix.
Oh my.
Even worse.
So they bring it back with them.
VHS on beta.
So they bring it back with them, and
they bring the documents, the VHSs,
and the body.
The body they found out in the snow.
Yeah, they bring it with them, and so then it cuts to a new scene where they flip it open, and they're just like, what? And the whole crew, where they're just like, what?
They're getting their first good look at this thing.
And I don't know who it is. I think it's Gary that looks like he's ready to throw up. He's just like, oh no. Oh.
That's like half of them.
Yeah. That's just
I'm pretty sure there's one point in the midst of all this where, let's see, what's the dude, army dude? They're watching an episode of, what was it? Let's Make a Deal.
Oh, yeah, Palmer.
And he's like, yeah, no, I've seen how this one ends. And he switches the VHS.
as he's smoking a nice toke.
I don't know why that's such a memorable moment for me, but whatever.
Can we just rewind a bit? Because I really want to talk about McCready versus the chess machine.
Oh yeah! Even before the Norwegian guy in the helicopter arrives at the base to shoot at the dog, McCready is playing chess with the computer, and it makes an illegal move and wins the game. And so he pours his scotch into the computer.
Cheating bitch. Oh, McCready's great in this movie. He's the kind of character that,
like, that's your first impression of this guy.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, just destroy expensive equipment.
It's sort of implied that he's like a Vietnam vet. So
I guess.
So it sort of explains a lot of things and why he's so good at what he does.
I just figured he was cynical.
I'm pretty sure most Vietnam vets are cynical at this point, Lucas.
Yeah, but so are most millennials.
Millenniums?
Millenniums. Yes, most millenniums.
So
2000 was pretty cynical. 1000.
Yeah, well, so are most millennial vets, so take that.
Pretty sure we're cynical for a good reason, though.
Anyway.
Getting back to point.
So they bring it back, and Gary's just like... or it's either Copper or Gary is just like, yeah, Blair, I want you to do a autopsy on this thing.
So Blair and Fuchs get to work doing an autopsy.
Yeah, and during the night, before all this happens, during the night, the dog starts wandering the halls. They haven't put the dog away yet.
Maybe this is the point where they're watching the VHS tape.
Yeah, this is the point where they're watching.
Yeah, because they're all.
I jumped ahead a bit.
Because it's getting dark.
Yeah.
And they're at the base. So it's sort of like an in-between.
But yeah, no, that new dog is kind of running around, so Clark goes to take it and put it in the kennel with the other dogs.
Well, it's not quite that yet. It's wandering around the halls, and it walks into a room, and then it cuts away. Somebody turns their head and cuts away. And just thought that was important.
It totally wasn't. Carry on.
It's not, but it sets up the...
implication.
Yes, it sets up implications that are never acted upon.
Which is what I was saying. It subverts expectation on this movie so well.
It's a red herring.
It's a red herring, yeah.
I hate that guy.
I hate that guy too.
I have the first season of that. No.
Pup named Scooby-Doo?
Yes.
Yeah, he is an asshole in that movie.
Anyway, getting back to the thing.
Or show. Shut up. Yeah, so Blair does an autopsy on it. And he's like, oh, that's strange. Normal organs in here.
Yeah, everything that he's finding inside of the creature appears to be normal, but the creature itself doesn't look very human. Like, it looks like it was maybe at some point human, but it certainly isn't right now.
And it's here that we get to the scene where shit goes tits up. So Clark is forced to put the dog into the kennel
because it's just wandering around and bothering everybody.
Yeah, I don't know who it is. I think it's Copper that's like, put this fucking dog in the kennel. Jesus Christ, we can't have it wandering around all the time.
So Clark goes and puts the new dog with the other dogs in the kennel,
and it's not behaving very.
It calmly goes into the kennel and just kind of sits in the middle of the kennel, surrounded by the other dogs.
And I really think this dog should have won an Oscar for that performance. I really do. Like, that dog is the best actor in the whole movie.
It's like he just...
I mean, that's not to put down anybody else in the movie. It's just that dog. That was a performance.
Yeah, that was...
The other dogs are just kind of sitting around, just kind of looking at it.
And it's here that they start sensing something's not right.
It's like if you told a dog, all right, act like you're an alien acting like a dog. And it's like, I got this, bro.
I got this. I ain't gonna do nothing.
So then Clark leaves, shuts off the light, and the dog decides... The other dogs start getting a bit uppity over this dog, which decides, you know what, fuck this, and just kind of tears its own face off.
Yeah, it
from the mouth, like not with its paws or anything.
So,
it just peels it. It just peels its skin back with its skin.
So you know how like a flower blooms? That's sort of like that.
Yeah, that's a good comparison, but a lot But a lot grosser.
A lot more gruesome. It splits open and at fours, and its skull falls out, and its tongue is just.
And it's at this point that the dogs think they might have fucked them.
Yeah, well,
and then tentacles just start shooting out of the.
That one dog. Oh, that one dog. I felt for that one dog. He's just like, nope, I'm out of here.
He finds a little hole in the fence, but it's not quite big enough, so he starts chewing
tearing at it, trying to get out.
He is desperate to get out, and the other dogs are just like, oh
They're
god.
They're barking up a storm because shit, what's going down? This, of course, alerts everyone in the base who immediately go investigate.
Clark hears something.
He goes to investigate.
And he sees what's going down, and he's just like, oh, shit.
Immediately hits the fire alarm.
He goes out into the hallway, finds MacReady. MacReady kind of gets a glimpse at what's going on, and he activates the fire alarm.
MacReady, Clark runs away. MacReady takes a look at what's going on, and then he hits... he hears what's going on, and then he hits the fire alarm from the kitchen.
So that brings just about everybody to the kennel.
And everybody's just like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Hey, and there's a scene where Childs is getting dressed, and I believe it's Palmer. Palmer comes in, and he's like, hey, MacReady needs the fire...
The flamethrower.
The flamethrower. MacReady needs the what? Just do it, man! Come on!
That's what he said.
That's what he says! Just come on! Everybody is in there. And
they end up crowding in there. They see this thing!
and some of the dogs, some of the dogs manage to escape. But a couple of the dogs are fucked. They're enveloped in sort of like a cocoon
kind of thing,
but it's not like a web more as it is just like this filth sort of stringy shit. It's like this goopy shit, you know?
It is beyond description.
Yeah.
Most of the special effects stuff in this movie are beyond description,
and they are fantastic.
and the guy we have to thank for that is Rob Batten, who worked so hard on this movie.
That was Batten.
Rob Batten.
Batten.
Rob Batten, I'm not sure. But who worked so hard on this movie, worked every day for almost 24 hours each day, that as soon as the movie finished filming, he checked himself into a hospital and stayed there for a week.
Dedication to your craft, and what a craft it is.
Well, this was like his first movie too. He would later go on to do The Howling, which is another amazing special effects movie, and so everybody's staring.
It's got nothing on American Werewolf in London, though.
No,
just putting that out there.
But everybody's
The Thing or The Howling.
The Howling.
Because I think The Thing has way more on...
The Howling. The Howling. That's why I specifically used another werewolf movie.
All right. Just making sure. It's like you're saying the special effects in American Werewolf are better than The Thing?
No.
Speaking of vampire movies, as an aside...
What?
Vampire?
Speaking of vampire movies, as an aside, Near Dark or From Dusk Until Dawn?
I have not seen either.
Oh, shit.
When did we get on the topic of vampire movies?
Those are still on my list.
Because you were mentioning werewolves, so I was like, speaking of vampire movies.
Vampires are like werewolves.
Anyway, MacReady gets his hands on the flamethrower and starts trying to use it on this dog thing, and it tries to escape up into the rafters.
Well, yeah, they start shooting it with shotguns.
They start shooting it. It tries to escape up into the rafters, but MacReady got the flamethrower.
And you know, Clark's sort of kicking a fuss throughout the whole thing.
Oh, he is broken up over this.
He's heartbroken because he's like, no, don't shoot the dogs! And the dogs that are enveloped in that shit.
If dogs could talk, they'd be saying, kill me!
At one point, one of the guys does shoot one of the dogs that isn't, a monster.
It'd be like the scene from fucking Aliens.
And Clark just kind of goes off at that point.
Yeah, Clark...
So, like, ah!
So Keith David walks in with the flamethrower, and he opens up the door, and he's just like, that's a thing I've never seen. Like, he does it so casually about it. He's like, that's a thing I've never seen before. Shit.
So he gives the flamethrower to MacReady. MacReady torches the...
No, Keith David torches it himself.
Somebody torches it!
Keith David torches it himself.
Somebody torches and kills it.
Because MacReady's like, torch it. torch it, child. Torch it! And Charles does it as it lunges at him. So they burn the fucking thing. And they're just like, oh shit, what the hell's this thing?
So now Blair's got 2 autopsies to perform.
Indeed he does.
And
as a result of this, of these autopsies, he determines that the dog creature and the corpse and the frozen corpse weren't what they initially appeared to be.
He was like, well, its process wasn't finished. Process? What do you mean?
Turns out these things.
Well, it didn't finish imitating these dogs.
They're mimics. They're shape-shifting aliens.
And so everybody's just like,
they don't. I don't think they determine that it's an alien just yet. I think it's when they actually go back at some point, but that might be in a little bit.
Yeah, they head back.
Yeah, they take a second trip to the base, or to where the Norwegians were
Yeah,
investigating.
they start, they were just like...
But that's after this
They go through the tapes and the reports, and then they determine that, oh, there was this thing that they found, so we should have checked that out.
But that happens after this, right?
Yes, that happens after this. And Blair has a great scene about it. He's just like, well, this thing wasn't finished. Finished with what? Well, imitating these dogs.
So,
if it can imitate these dogs, well, maybe it could imitate a human.
So, yeah, it's a shape-shifting creature that assimilates other life forms and becomes other life forms. The frozen corpse was it attempting to mimic a human, and the dog thing was it having successfully mimicked a dog and trying to assimilate other dogs to mimic.
Yep.
These creatures are fucked up. So, after this, they decide to go back to the Norwegian base where they find a spaceship.
Well,
Just kind of casually.
And they're like, yeah, they bring Norris with them. Him, Bennings, and McCready. And Norris makes the calculations on it. He's like, man, this thing must have been buried under the ice for 100,000 years. For at least 100,000 years. And then
Which then brings us back to where the movie actually started. It didn't actually start with the guy in the helicopter shooting the dog. We lied. It actually starts with an alien spacecraft coming to Earth.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
We missed the
That's the first thing that happens in the movie.
Right before it's the pre-title scene.
You forgot about that, didn't
you? But like you don't realize that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that.
How many times have you seen this movie more than me?
This many.
He's holding up 0 fingers.
Oh shit, he's a fraud. So they come.
Not there yet.
so they come back, and Blair while they're gone, Blair
is starting to piece things together and figure shit out.
He's running a computer program, which in 1982, yeah, okay,
sure you are.
Science fiction though, we'll let it have it.
That basically just straight up tells him the plot of the movie.
It basically tells him, hey, yeah, these cells. If they touch another
life form,
they
start to attack and replicate within that life form, so that it basically turns the other life form cells into copies of itself that are also copies of themselves.
Yeah.
And so it's basically mimicking humans by attacking human or life form cells and, well, just reassembling the thing at the cellular level.
Yeah.
Into itself.
That's pretty much it. So Blair at this point has become despondent, and he pulls out a gun from his desk drawer. And so everybody has a big meeting, and they're trying to determine what the hell this means.
And Blair's not there, is he?
No, Blair's there. He's sitting in the corner, just.
Okay, he's there.
He's there thinking, and they're talking about this thing.
I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw him, I didn't immediately realize that it was Wilford Brimley because he didn't have the mustache.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it's a younger Wilford Brimley.
It is a younger Wilford Brimley, and he's just so almost near unrecognizable without that mustache that he's so famous for now.
Yeah, well, that's true.
It's like Weird Al before he got his LASIK.
Yeah.
But, so they're discussing it, and there's an interesting thing that comes up, MacReady basically says, hey, think about it. Think about it. It's been buried under the ice for 1,000 years. These Norwegians dig it up, take it back to their base. It wakes up, probably not in the best of moods, so it decides to start imitating a couple of people. And Knowles comes in, and this is an interesting one, another interesting note. Knowles comes in and he's like, "God damn it, guys! Which one of you brought these dirty underwear into my trash can? Come on, guys, throw it out in your own."
Absolutely torn to shreds. Long johns.
So somebody threw their long johns in the kitchen trash,
and it's the ID tag to identify whose long johns they belong to has been torn off.
It's also got a bunch of blood on it.
Oh yeah.
So. That might
now, at this point, Blair has become incredibly withdrawn to the point where his assistant, Fuchs, has noticed and decides to take MacReady aside and basically be like, yeah, I don't think I trust Blair anymore. I actually took a look at some of his research notes on this thing, and yeah, it turns out it can just touch something and start mimicking them.
And MacReady...
So Fuchs and thereby extension MacReady are starting to suspect that Blair...
The big reveal is that out of these autopsies, Blair realized that there's still cellular activity.
Yeah, these things aren't actually dead. Their cells are still active. And as previously established, that's how this creature... mimics its prey.
So Bennings and Windows are taking this thing into storage shed, or in the storage room, and they're putting it away, and Blair and Clark are in the kennel, and they're basically checking on the dogs to make sure they're not infected, essentially, and Blair is eyeing Clark rather suspiciously.
It's like, to be completely honest, so are we, because of how just how Clark is portrayed.
And it's here Blair starts asking the hard hitting questions. How long were you alone with that dog? Well, about an hour or two. Okay.
And how long was it before it was put in the kennel?
Well, maybe a day or so. What the hell are you looking at me for? No, it's nothing. It's nothing.
So yeah, this is
Wilford Brimley's amazing in this movie.
Yeah, this is the point in the movie where we start to suspect maybe this thing is one of the other characters.
Yeah. No, you were about to say.
I was just going to say everybody in this movie is A game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
This is
everybody.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, like MacReady is Kurt Russell just being Kurt Russell, so I mean it's a natural fit. But Keith David is amazing. Wilford Brimley, like if I gotta say somebody's the best actor aside from the dog, it's Wilford Brimley. His acting in this movie is just so on point, and it's like we're watching his own personal descent into paranoia and insanity. From his point of view. At some
point, Blair decides to snap and.
Well, we're not there yet.
Oh, we're not? I thought we were there.
No. We still got a major scene.
Okay, so Blair has become incredibly withdrawn and is just kind of.
So Bennings and Windows put the thing into the storage room, and they're just cleaning shit out to get it out, and Windows. So.
Windows takes a step out of the room.
Yeah, Windows is like, hey, let's lock this thing up, and
at this point,
and Bennings says, get the keys from Gary. So Windows goes to get the keys from Gary.
And it's also at this point that Fuchs has taken McCready aside and is telling him how he's starting to suspect that maybe Blair has...
All these scenes are kind of interspersed with one another.
It's happening all at once. It makes sense when you're watching the movie.
Yeah.
We're just trying to condense everything to be so relevant to itself.
Yeah, so Windows leaves.
And at 40 minutes, we're doing a terrible job.
and it doesn't cut back to the thing, and it moves.
Oh, yeah, underneath the tarp.
And mind you, Bennings is up on the shelves just...
Yeah, nobody's looking at the dog creature under the tarp, so they don't see that the tarp moves.
And then it starts to bleed?
Yeah, it starts to bleed. And as soon as Windows comes back, he's like, "All right, Bennings, let's go. I gotta do something tonight."
And Bennings is not there.
Bennings is just... Where'd Bennings go?
Wait, where'd the corpses go?
And he hears a noise, and he slowly I turn, sort of that sort of trope. He slowly turns his head, and he sees Bennings. But it's not Bennings. It's Bennings getting tentacle raped, basically.
We assume that he's being assimilated in this moment.
So then Windows goes to gather everybody. I think he hits the fire alarm again.
Nope.
Is this where he drops the keys? Or?
Yes, but I wasn't going to mention that on purpose. But he runs out, and Fuchs and McCready are just coming back inside. And he's like, "It's Bennings!" So they all rush to the storage room, and nothing's there.
Nothing except Bennings. Nothing that wasn't already there before the corpses arrived.
Except Bennings' clothes, all torn up and bloody, and he was like, "I swear to God, he was there, Mac. It got him right there, Mac." And they see the window.
Got everybody on edge.
And so the window's blown open. It's busted out from the inside.
So they go out to investigate, and they find not Bennett.
Well, they find Bennings running. And
But then they discover that it's not Bennings because of its elongated fingers and its inability to form words outside of.
Something like that.
I'm paraphrasing, of course.
Oh, I was gonna say, is that a direct quote?
No, the noise Bennings thing, and we're gonna refer them to as last name thing to make
it clearer that yes, this is not the person anymore.
The noise.
I prefer going with the not last name, like not Benning.
Well, Canon has it as Bennings thing, so
fuck Canon.
So up yours, John Carpenter's right, you're wrong. But no, so the noise Bennings thing makes is
horrifying,
indescribable, really, which is
at the very least inhuman.
Yeah,
quite.
And everybody's crowding around, and they're just like, "Holy shit!"
So they kill it.
They kill it.
They kill it with fire. They kill it with so much fire, and then they take the other two corpses, like just dig a pit. Pour kerosene all over them, and just flame the fuckers. And as they're
all crowding around, somebody mentions, "Hey, where's Blair?" And
they rush back in as soon as back into the base as soon as they discover this absence.
All of them except for McCready.
McCready, yeah.
McCready notices somebody running away from the helicopter.
And he goes to investigate, and
he finds the helicopter just completely damaged,
and then he hears gunshots.
Yeah, it turns out Blair has been inside using an axe to just completely destroy the radio communication.
And I feel so bad for Windows.
I know, right? Because at a couple points earlier in the movie, what was his name? Gary was just absolutely upset over the fact that Windows couldn't hail anybody over the radio. Like it was Windows' fault that nobody was answering.
We haven't been able to get anybody for 3 weeks, and you expect me to go out there and find somebody. And even Blair has been getting somebody to want to contact, getting him to want to contact somebody. And
it's like I can't do anything if nobody responds. Shut the fuck up. It's what I wish Windows would have said at some point, but no.
But here's the thing. Windows is kind of a jerk ass through most of the movie. Like, it's assumed he's kind of a jerk to most of the other characters, and that's why they don't like him. When really, he's just sort of the butt of the joke in the movie.
But yeah, so Blair is destroyed. Oh god, he's a thing! Oh. Zach was yawning.
Oh no. So yeah, no, Blair is...
He's just destroying the radio equipment with the axe.
And Windows is cowering in the corner of the room. He's just like, please don't hit me! Oh, Jesus
God.
Christ!
Oh, God! Oh, God!
And everybody...
If anyone's having Nom-flashbacks...
I'm pretty sure Wilford Brimley did serve in Nom, too. Either that or Korea.
So yeah, everybody pretty much determines that Blair has gone insane, and they decide to...
They try to reason with him.
They try to reason with him.
But here's the thing. So they mention, oh yeah, he got the helicopter and he got the tractor, which I just want to point this out. They had just gotten done using the tractor when MacReady saw Blair run from the helicopter. So they had at least one functional tractor. He couldn't have gotten to...
And the reason they were using it was because they were burying the charred remains of not Bennett, not Human, and not Dog.
And Child specifically says, well, he got to the tractor and the helicopter. Huh?
What?
Like, we knew about the helicopter. That one was confirmed.
That's just kind of a...
Well, maybe there's another one.
And, well, that's what I thought, too. But he says the tractor instead of tractors. So, I don't know.
This will be important later.
No, it won't.
Yeah, well.
Maybe. Who knows?
It totally becomes important later. Trust me.
No, I don't trust any of you.
Oh, shit, it's happening again.
And he mentions, and he killed all the dogs, too. And Clark hears this, and
Clark's just like, what?
No! He runs off.
And he just takes off.
So Clark's not here for this scene.
But eventually they do manage to subdue Blair and drag him out to the shed and lock him in.
Blair has some great... Wilford Brimley has some great lines in this scene. He's like, he didn't want to be a dog. He wanted to be one of us. No dog's making it 18,000 miles to the coast. Nobody! And as he's tearing up the equipment,
So it's basically assumed that Blair's insanity was him trying to cut off the thing's routes of escape.
Well, the way I always looked at it is like he was the only sane one at this point, you know?
Yeah.
Like he's the
he
only...
was just coming off as insane because of how super sane he was.
Yeah, he was being very paranoid.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy. You're crazy.
I'm not the thing. You're the thing. You're the thing.
So they lock him in a shed and just keep him there for the rest of the movie.
And they inject him with
tranquilizers, basically.
Tranquilizers.
Sedatives.
And before Mac leaves, because everybody else is leaving, before Mac leaves, he's like, "Hold on, watch Clark and watch him close. You hear me? Watch him close."
And this movie really tells you that, it's... If anything, Clark's the bad guy. Like, that's what this movie is.
It's super obvious.
Yeah. So they're walking away, and Fuchs is just like, "Hey, Mac, we can't leave him in there. We gotta get him out. He's the only one that knows what's going on." And Mac's just like, "Look, it'll be fine if we leave him in there. You translate, you figure out what he's saying in his notes. You work on his notes."
So yeah, they intentionally leave Fuchs alone while everybody else just kind of sticks together.
Yeah.
Which is the smartest plan in this situation, isn't it?
Well, Mac puts it eloquently in the next scene, as he's got a tape recorder that he's talking in, and he's talking into it as sort of like a
journal/message.
Yeah, to anybody who finds it. If it
comes... Of course, turns out the next group are Norwegian, and they don't have a fucking clue what he's saying. No, they're Swedish.
Yeah.
What? That would come full circle.
So he's talking into it, and he's just like, "Nobody trusts anybody." And then he immediately deletes that and puts a new part of the message in. But that it's just sort of hanging on that. as just sort of like even Max starting to get paranoid.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Max supposed to be the cool, calm, and collected guy. And meanwhile, before that, Dr. Copper is just like, well, they're asking Copper, hey, is there any way we can check to see if one of us is one of those things? And he's like,
oh yeah, they decide to do a test to basically draw a sample from each of them, and then basically have that sample interact with blood that had already been drawn and was in storage.
yeah.
So they go to get to the blood in the storage, and
Hey guys, somebody got all the blood.
yeah, the cold storage for the blood is just now bloody.
They sprung a leak.
and so here's where the accusations start flying, and it's like, hey, who are the only people that could get access to this?
Well, the only two who could have access were Copper, since he's the doctor, and Gary, who had the keys. And Copper would have to get the keys from Gary. And at this point, Windows kind of snaps and runs to the gun cabinet.
And here's why.
He can't unlock it, so he just smashes the window and pulls out a gun.
Yeah,
basically points it at everybody else who's crowded at him.
It's pretty much everybody's about to get into a fist fight.
And Gary pulls out his gun, because of course he fucking does.
Okay, would you just hold on for like 5 seconds? Jesus Christ. You're jumping the gun.
Nice pun.
Everybody is about to get into a fist fight, and things start calming down, but Windows starts backing away slowly, and then just guns it. He runs as fast as he can, and there's a reason why. As they're blaming Gary or Copper, Windows got the keys from Gary to lock the storage room. When he saw Bennings get assimilated, he dropped the keys. Windows knows the reason that the blood is compromised is because he fucked up and dropped the keys. So he's running as fast as he can. He's getting out of Dodge because he knows he's guilty.
Just not directly.
Not directly.
Or even then, he'll be the next one to be blamed.
Yes,
I remember that they gave him the keys.
I'm not going to lie. I just assumed that he just assumed everybody else was compromised and that he was the only one.
Right. Yeah, the movie doesn't outright state this.
It does not state at all that he even had the keys.
It's literally a sound effect.
So I just assumed that he was just trying to protect himself from the things.
It's when I pointed it out that they were just like, oh, that makes sense.
But yeah, the entire situation is not good. Gary and Copper are for sure potentially things, so they have them tied up. I think they also tie up Clark because he's suspicious as fuck.
Not yet.
I don't think anybody gets tied up yet.
No, they're all in the hallway, and Gary pulls out his gun on Windows, and McCready talks everybody down, and Windows is like, "You guys gonna listen to Gary?" Which is an excellent point.
I mean, he's the guy with the gun.
No.
He gets 2 votes.
Shit. But no. Which is a good point. He said, why are you guys going to listen to Gary when just a second ago you guys were suspecting him? And Gary sees the point, sees the logic in it. And he's like, all right, that makes sense. I know you guys don't trust me, so I'm stepping down as leader. Norris, do you want in on it? And it's assumed that Norris is the most respected out of all of them. And he's just like, I don't think I'm up for it.
Basically, they just kind of all agreed to follow McCready.
Yeah, Mac just sort of takes charge, and Childs wants to take charge, but he can't, which is sort of a power dynamic between the two.
Yeah, Childs wants to be in charge, but Mac is just like, how about we go with somebody a little more level-headed?
Nice dig. And, he's not wrong.
Yeah, Childs is definitely a hothead.
Like, even he realizes it.
Mm-hmm. So they all agree to go with McCready, and so then we get to the scene where Fuchs is in the lab all alone, and McCready comes in on him, and Fuchs is just like, hey, as a suggestion, I think we should not prepare meals for each other. We should just eat out of cans. We should prepare
we should prepare our own meals and eat out of eat out of cans exclusively.
Yeah.
Just completely rational.
Mm-hmm.
So then Mac's like, okay, and then he leaves. And then the lights go out. And Fuchs is just like, that's strange. So he...
Well, it's more than just the lights, isn't it? The whole power.
Yeah, the whole
grid.
base goes down for about an hour, and Fuchs is just, that's okay. And then somebody walks by his door,
and he goes to investigate.
Goes outside, and he's walking around with a flare in hand, and then he finds a torn up piece of clothing. It's a name tag. McCready.
No, it has McCready's name on it.
It has McCready's name on it.
It's clearly McCready's.
Huh. That's weird. And then we cut to the next scene, and Matt's just like, all right, guys, Fuchs been missing for an hour. Any one of you assholes could have gotten to him in there.
I think at about this point, when he was doing the recording, Mac had figured out that the way the assimilation works, it actually tears the clothes out, which is why they're torn when they find the long johns.
Yeah.
So, I just want to establish that.
Yep.
So this is one of those
cases. Raise suspicion.
This is one of those cases where, like, the clothes it's wearing are actually part of it. Like, is that what we're to understand? It's the
I think it just
the
changes.
clothing it is wearing is imitation clothing.
I don't think so.
Like it's never presented that way in the movie. But if it tears through your clothes,
but they have other sets of clothes.
Yeah, but you're telling me that this thing is gonna rip, like, okay, now I've infected you and all your clothes are ripped. Now you gotta go get more clothes. You're telling me
I'm pretty sure it's like an involuntary thing.
What?
I'm pretty confident that the process that results in the clothes tearing isn't a completely voluntary process. Right. I think it just is like a part of the result of the body of the life form trying to reject the thing and its assimilation.
Right.
That's
but now you're this imitation thing, but you don't have any clothes because they're all ripped.
Just put on new clothes.
Well, yeah, but now you've got to go all the way across.
Stop overthinking it. Stop overthinking this movie that is right for overthinking.
Again, you're not really. Again, I don't think you're really thinking about. I think you're overthinking it.
Yeah.
Because again, somebody. We're assuming somebody got us.
I know it's a minor thing, but like think back to when we get to see Bennings. He's getting attacked and his clothes are clearly ripped.
Yep.
And then the next time we see him, he's wearing the exact same clothes, but he's an imitation.
He probably put them back on.
But then they'd be all ripped.
Well, I thought they were ripped though.
I'm pretty sure his clothes got torn while he was inside. When he was outside in the cold, he was wearing a coat, which was covering up his naked body.
Oh yeah, that's true. He was wearing a coat.
I'd have to rewatch it. I don't know, it's just one of those little tiny things that like bugs me about the movie.
And this brings up the topic that I have a theory that there's two types of assimilation: one slow, one.
We'll get to why in a little bit.
Yeah, one slow, one fast. One takes a couple of minutes, and the other one takes maybe hours. And one is not as explosive, for sake of argument. And one is.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. So they're. What's the word? They all decide, hey, let's go and look for Fuchs.
Mm-hmm. And so they find his charred corpse out in the snow.
Well, the way it's decided is. So,
oh, right. They decide to split up, don't they?
They decide to split up.
That's a good idea.
So McCready takes Knowles with him, and then Palmer, and then McCready wants Palmer and Windows to go together. And Palmer is just like, I ain't going with Windows. I ain't going with him. I ain't going. Fuck you too, Palmer. And everybody's all sort of hot and bothered, and he's just like, all right, fine. Child Gary and Palmer stay behind. Windows, you come with us.
So they go out. They find the charred remains of Fuchs.
Yeah.
They tell Windows to go back and warn the others.
And Windows is like...
And McCready and Knowles decide to investigate something because...
he's like, hey, go back and warn the others that we found Fuchs. I'm going to go investigate my room. What the hell are we going to investigate your room for?
Last night, last night when I was there, I shut my light off, and we get a shot of MacReady's quarters with its light on, and it's not connected to the base directly. It's off in the distance.
MacReady's got his own like little pad separated from the base.
They also go to visit Blair for a second, and Blair's like,
Blair basically is like, all right, I've calmed down. I'm sane again. Please let me out.
You gotta let me in. Out.
you gotta let me out.
No, into the base.
Oh, right, into the base.
Okay, yeah, maybe it is.
MacReady gives him a long, hard stare, clearly showing that he's considering it, and just shuts the slat.
So then and then they're like, God, it's been an hour already.
And then Knowles returns, and he's like half frozen. He's like, quick, shut the door. MacReady's the thing.
MacReady's the thing. I found his piece of clothing out there. I cut the line, and I ran as fast as I could. And they're just like, all right, well, we got him. We got the thing.
And then MacReady drives in through the wall using one of the tractor.
They nail down all the doors.
Nail down all the doors.
But I thought all the tractors were.
See, it was relevant. Ha!
Huh? He uses one of the.
He uses the tractor, even though it's supposed to be damaged. He's able to drive the tractor in through the wall to re-infiltrate the base after they block him out. And Childs had previously...
I thought he just breaks through the window.
No?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't remember.
Oh, right. No, yeah, he does break in through the window. That's a later scene. Never mind.
Yeah, he breaks through the window.
He breaks through the
But he does drive the tractor later. Or...
Somebody drives the tractor.
I guess so. I don't know.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. He breaks in through the storage window, which was unsupervised.
And there's a little scene where Norris, as he's being looked at, he starts clutching his chest really hard.
Man. Like heart stress will do that to you. I know that from personal experience.
It's like he's having a minor heart attack and he's trying to calm down.
A minor heart attack, yeah. No.
He was having a minor heart attack.
So he's just having chest pains. Well, yeah, we know he was having a heart attack, but like...
He was having chest pains. I know the feeling personally.
Yeah. And but MacReady breaks in, and he's got a stick of dynamite.
He's got dynamite. It's like, fuckers,
thermite.
I would... It's a thermite bomb, but...
Yeah.
It's close enough.
Yeah. Just wanted to make the distinction.
Slap.
Yeah, he's holding it real close. And David...
Basically, his rationale is, well, I don't trust anybody right now, so to get them to actually do what I need them to do, I'm going to hold the entire base hostage. Not just myself, but everyone. Yeah. Because those thermite bombs are enough to take out the base. And he knows it.
So everybody's just like, okay, all right, let's get him. And that's a bad idea, because MacReady just beats the shit out of him. He takes on 3 dudes by himself, and just, get off me. And then Norris hits the shelf really hard, and he's just,
He's down, he's
like, get Dr. Copper in here, now.
Yeah, they decided to untie Dr. Copper so he can take a look at, that guy. I can't remember his name. Norris.
And as you can see, the numbers are whittling down. First we had Bennings, then we had Fuchs.
So Copper...
He's not dead yet. They can still save him. Norris.
Oh, yeah. Norris...
Copper decides...
We don't know that he's dead yet.
Copper tells somebody to get defibrillator, and he start using it on Norris while everybody else is arguing.
So, and he hits him once, it doesn't work.
So. He hits him a second time, doesn't work. He tries going in for a third time, and then Norris's whole stomach cavity just opens up and bites Copper's arms
opens up, grows teeth, and bites Copper's hands off. Defibrillator and all.
It's at that point we realize Norris is the thing! And Norris is not
Norris! Classic Norris! You got us again!
And it's here that I was mentioning the slow infection, because throughout most of the movie, Norris doesn't think he's a thing until the very end.
When he's dead, and now he's a thing.
And now he's a thing. Which I have which and a lot of other fans have the theory that there's two types of infection: one fast, one slow. Slow is where a cell infiltrates your body and you're assimilated from the inside out, and you don't know it.
Okay, so my theory as to why he attacks Copper is because...
It's the defibrillator.
Yes, but let me try to explain it as best I understand it. So, Thing slowly takes over Norris and assimilates him, but wasn't counting on the heart condition, which ends up killing Norris before the assimilation is actually finished.
That's actually an accepted theory that that the Thing didn't realize Norris had a heart condition, so it inherited his heart condition.
So he didn't realize what this heart condition would do until he died.
Yes. Can I offer a secondary theory? So let's assume that he was quickly assimilated, because that would give us somebody that could have
been the person who the torn long johns belonged to.
I mean, we can just state it now. MacReady is never the Thing. MacReady's our protagonist. He's
of course he's not going to be the Thing.
He's not going to turn on us.
Is he?
So, like, he's obviously been set up by all these the clothes that they've been finding with his names and stuff on them. So, my question is, who's been the Thing this entire time? Is it the people that it can't be the people that just eventually turn into the Thing, because we have that test halfway through the movie. But
it's not even halfway through the movie.
So
it's towards the end.
It's at this point, it's got to be either Norris or the other person who gets revealed to be a Thing.
Clark?
Palmer?
Or Norris, Palmer, or Clark. Sure, let's go with those
Clark
three.
was never... No, you're right, he was.
It's definitely suspected of, anyways.
Yeah.
Whereas Palmer is kind of out of left field, but we'll get to that in a moment.
But yeah, so I'm thinking
or Blair. Could have been Blair.
Could have been Blair.
Could have been...
But he was sane enough to not be the Thing.
But this would have all happened after he would have been locked up.
Yeah, this... Anyway...
Unless he can get out.
Getting back to
he could get out. So
getting back to the theory that I was going for, the Thing didn't realize that what Copper was doing was trying to revive Norris, and because it's electrical, it was perceiving the defibrillator as an attack.
That does make sense.
Which is why it retaliated in such a violent way.
Yeah, that does make sense. I completely glazed over my point. My point with bringing up Norris as being the Thing and knowing that he was the Thing is this is why he did not want to take the chain of command, because he had already framed MacReady. So making MacReady the leader and then all of a sudden leaving evidence that MacReady shouldn't be trusted would just play more into his hands. Right. Just another way this could panned out.
Like I said,
because a lot of this is ambiguous. The movie doesn't really give you.
Like I said before, this movie is very open to speculation.
It's open to interpretation.
I feel that if this movie had come out more recently, we would have a ton of theory videos on YouTube trying to deconstruct even the smallest detail.
We already have that, though.
If this movie had come out recently, there wouldn't have been room for any of this stuff, I imagine. I don't think it would have been as just the way it would have been made now.
Oh, yeah, no. If it came out today, a lot of the special effects would have been made CG.
I'm not saying. I'm saying more the mentality that and I think the connected internet has.
I also think a lot of the dialogue would have been dumbed down.
I just
don't feel like the movie would be as smart as it is. No. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying that if the movie, as it is, were released today and it was up to the special effects standards, there would be tons of YouTube videos trying to deconstruct even the smallest utterance.
And there are. There are even.
You just have to look for them.
It's just not. Yeah, it's just not like.
It's a 38-year-old movie. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But we're getting off.
I'd like to see Matt Pat do this on Film Theory.
I personally subscribed to the theory Norris didn't know he was a Thing, because to me it makes the most sense.
That's the great thing, because this movie can get...
You could be completely right, and we could be completely wrong, or we could be completely right, and you're completely wrong, and that's...
The movie works no matter what you believe in, really.
John Carpenter specifically said, it's whatever you believe it to be.
Yeah. Of course, getting back to the plot, Norris has been revealed to the Thing, and he turns into an utter monster. And you've probably seen it. I know I have.
This is the special effects tour de force. This is probably the most iconic scene in the movie.
And it's interesting. Rob Batten, what he had to do. So they start torching it, and Norris's head
just starts coming off.
It
stretches off of the body.
It's trying to decapitate itself.
It forcibly decapitates itself, lands on the floor, grows legs and eye stalks, and tries to skitter away while everybody's distracted with
there's an interesting
burning corpse.
An interesting story. I don't mean to make this video longer than it is. There's an interesting story about a special effect. They had one take to do this on.
I'm sure they did.
No, they had one take because they were working with a lot of flammable materials that would have exploded. So it's like they start doing the scene, and his head starts coming off, and it starts malfunctioning, and they've got like a flame. They've got like the flamethrower underneath the head, because they've got the flame effect, and yeah. Long story short, it explodes. They have to redo the scene.
Oh no!
Months later.
Oh.
And this is why I say God bless Rob Bottin for this movie, because he went through a lot of shit for this movie. just to make it look beautiful.
Just for like 15 seconds maybe?
Yeah.
I mean, it's more than 15 seconds, but just this one scene is probably
30 seconds.
30 seconds to a minute of just pure
so the head detaches,
effects.
grows legs, grows an eye stalk, and tries skittering away.
And Palmer has one of the best lines in the entire movie. You gotta be fucking kidding.
And that draws everybody's attention to seeing the head trying to skitter away.
Just waltzing away.
So they torch it, and it's at this point that everybody basically realizes that every part of the thing is sentient. Not just the body. It's like, even the smallest cell is sentient. And it's terrified of dying.
Yeah, so MacReady puts forward a test. He's like, all right, we're going to do a little test here. We're going to tie you all down.
Yeah, you're all going to be tied down, except for you, Windows. You're cool.
Well,
okay.
I'm doing the squinty eyes.
Windows, you're going to tie them all down. Oh, it's a bunch of bullshit, man. Come on.
Shut up, I've got thermite.
I have thermite, the flamethrower, and the gun.
Clark.
I've grown a third arm. Don't think about it.
I get all the votes.
While this is all happening, Clark surreptitiously swiped a scalpel. And he's just like, hey, hold on, guys. Mac might be onto something.
And of course, they get into an argument again. It's MacReady and Childs are arguing. Mac's got the gun.
Childs is like, well, what if I don't want to be tied down? Well, then I guess I'm gonna have to kill you.
And he points the gun.
Do it.
MacReady points the gun at Childs, and then Clark decides to take this opportunity to try to throw the scalpel at MacReady.
He lunges at him.
He lunges at him. MacReady turns around and shoots Clark right in the forehead.
Right dead in
and everybody else is just like, oh fuck. Okay.
Oh, he's serious. Everybody get tied down now. Nice and proper.
So now within that span, we've lost Norris, we've lost Copper, and we've lost Clark.
Yeah, because Copper died due to the blood loss.
Let's view.
And they also decide to. Do they torch him just to be safe, or
no?
Okay.
No, they've got them on the table.
Okay, he dies from the blood loss.
Or shock, one of the two.
So MacReady having
that was also another amazing effect. Dr. Copper's hands getting ripped off.
God,
so his hands get ripped off, and instead of having Copper and like CG or whatever, what they did was they had an armless midget stand on the table and put on a mask of Richard Dysart as Doc Copper and had him scream.
Are you serious?
Holy shit!
That's why that scene looks so uncanny valley.
Yes! That's exactly it. They had it like the panned out scene where he's like, ah! Yeah, that was a midget. The close up.
I don't think they like that word.
A short person. I'm sorry.
A little person.
Oh, fuck off. I'm like 5'4". I practically count as a midget.
Oh my god.
Anyway, let's move on before you offend the rest of the potential audience. So yeah, Clark's dead, Norris is dead, and confirmed to be a thing. Copper's dead. Everybody else is tied down except for McCready.
Let's just take a look at the kill count so far. We've got Bennings assimilated and torched to death. Fuchs torched to death either by himself or by the Thing, which was a theory that they were throwing around when they found him.
Norris died as a Thing.
Died as a Thing. Had a
Copper just died.
Probably died of shock and probably died
Clark
of shock.
dead from a shot from a gun wound to the head.
So yeah, that's 6. 6 out of the 14 or so people there. Oh, and the two pilots.
6. I got 5.
Bennings?
Yep.
Bennings, Fuchs, Clark, Copper.
Norris, Copper, Clark.
And the doggos. All 10. All 10.
All 10 of the doggos.
So you miscounted.
I did miscount.
Numbers aren't important.
Well,
let's get to the test.
So half the base is dead, pretty much.
So what McCready's test is to slice the thumb and get a sample of blood.
And you know what?
Torch the end of a wire and stick it into the blood.
And you know what? I thought about it today, and I have a huge problem with that scene. And that is mostly Windows' use of the scalpel. If we're assuming he cut open everybody, this is just hypothetical here. As we've already said, Palmer's a Thing.
I thought everybody had to cut themselves.
No.
No, Windows cut everybody open with the same scalpel. Okay, you see where I'm going with this?
We don't know that it was the same scalpel.
Yeah, they were in
No,
the they were in the
No, you don't remember. Because Windows cut Null's thumb open, then he wiped it off his pants, and then cut himself.
Yeah, you're right. No, that totally is true.
Here's what I'm getting at.
I remember questioning that.
Do you get where I'm getting at?
Yeah,
now?
I get where you're getting at.
If he cut open a thing, wiped it off, and then used the scalpel on himself, wouldn't he just be infecting himself?
No, because McCready's the first one who cuts himself to prove that I'm not a Thing.
No,
you can trust me.
You're not getting this. If he cuts a thing, wipes it off, and cut another thing.
Didn't he cut himself first, though?
Yes, he cut himself first.
I'm talking about Windows, though.
Yeah, I know you're talking about Windows.
Okay, McCready cuts himself first.
Yes.
Let's assume they're using the same scalpel.
Yes.
So then he does the test, and then he has Windows cut himself.
Nope, they all cut themselves at the same time, though.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. Windows cuts his finger first, and they do the test on him they can.
Do I?
So that they.
That's it. I'm pulling up the scene.
He cuts himself first. McCready does the test, and that's how he knows he can trust Windows to just kind of go on his own. Because it turns out Windows isn't infected. He then has Windows collect everybody else's blood samples.
I think you might be right.
Hold on.
We're gonna have to get the instant replay.
Here we go. We're watching the scene, by the way.
Okay, rewind.
Every little piece is an individual animal.
Did you back it up all the way?
I backed it up just a little bit before anybody gets cut.
Here's the thing.
You see, when a man bleeds.
So gonna get copyright strikes, so let's keep talking over it.
Yeah, so
we're still watching this.
You guys talk, I'll review.
Yes, he'll review it. My thing is, if they all cut themselves at the same time, which they did, you watch that scene. Zach is watching.
I'm watching it.
And I'm pretty sure it's Windows who cuts them. They just offer their thumb.
Windows cuts them. Again,
all right, Knowles is the first one to get cut.
No, he's the second to last.
He's the first one to get cut.
Second to last.
Knowles is the first one
He's the one watching the footage. Okay.
Second to last.
Nope, he was the first one to get cut. Now Windows.
Watch.
And he just he wipes the scalpel off on on his boot or whatever.
Yeah. And then he tests himself.
And it comes out clean.
Yes. But here's my thing.
If he would have fucked himself over.
Yes.
But he didn't, so.
I'm just saying that's sort of a flaw.
It's a flaw in the test, but.
Yes. Which is what I was saying.
The point of this scene is that of what we're getting at is that MacReady tests himself first, then he tests Windows to confirm that Windows isn't a thing.
And
so Windows is able.
Windows has the best reaction to it. He's just
he is so relieved to discover that he's not a thing. It's like, oh.
Either I missed it, or MacReady never cut himself, or it doesn't show it.
It doesn't show it.
I'm pretty sure he does that to show them what the test is.
No.
It looks like he's about to test Windows first.
Oh, he tests Windows first.
He tests Windows first.
Then he has Windows test him.
And then he tests himself. Who's watched the scene?
Okay.
Okay. It is important, the sequence of events.
Yes. It really is.
So they take the blood. They take the blood test. MacReady's not a thing.
Speed this up.
MacReady's not a thing. Windows is not a thing.
Okay,
they take the blood test from Clark and Copper. They're not things, which means that MacReady just murdered Clark for no reason.
So unless I missed it, MacReady, it doesn't show him cutting himself.
Yes.
But he is the second one tested.
So here's the thing. So he tests Windows. Windows has the best reaction to it. He's so relieved. He's just, all right, hey, take
Test
that
Copper.
Take the flame.
They test Copper and
then Clark.
Well, hold on.
And it's revealed that neither of them are the thing. So
well, here's the thing.
Poor Clark.
The thing. He tests.
Turns out the guy we suspected the entire time wasn't a thing.
Well,
let's move on before this becomes a.
Well, hold on.
Let's try to not make this a Wrath of Khan, okay?
Let me speak then.
No.
Fucker. He tests himself, and Clark and Childs is the one who has the most objections to it because he doesn't see it because he's like, well, this is a crock of shit. He's like, yeah, well, fuck you too. Now let's test Clark. Clark was a thing. Now let's test Copper. Copper was a thing.
No, they weren't.
Neither of them were.
Or neither was. That's what I mean. Neither was a thing.
That was the complete opposite of what.
Fuck off. And Dave and Childs has the weirdest statement ever, where he's like, "Well, I guess that makes you a murderer, doesn't it?" No.
Self-defense.
Yeah,
Self-defense.
Technically, Clark did lunge at him.
Self-defense.
So then Gary is like, "Oh, this is pure nonsense. It doesn't."
I knew you would say that. That's why I was going to test you last.
And then he tests Palmer.
No.
And Palmer has the best look. Did you see that look? Did you see his look when right before that he was tested? He was just, all right, here we go. Even before Palmer gets tested, Palmer basically gives himself up as a thing, where he's just like,
well, here it's showtime.
It's showtime. And Palmer just transforms into this fucking. He looks like a zombie from Half-Life.
I think it's the other way around.
Yeah. It is a good comparison, though.
You can't tell me they didn't look at that movie and go, we're gonna steal that design.
Especially because of the arms.
Anyway.
So yeah, he.
So they torch Palmer.
Well, Palmer breaks out of his bonds and
bites fucking
Windows.
Poor goddamn Windows. He gets bit in the face.
Windows goes to blast him, and then he suffers a blue screen of death.
Yeah, because his MacReady's torch isn't working properly. That's why he doesn't torch him immediately.
So Windows runs up.
Yeah, because he's so shocked that he drops the torch, and when he picks it back up, he has to get it running again.
Yeah.
And so Windows goes to blast him, and he's just watching this thing, and he has the look on his face like, oh.
And then Palmer's face just opens up like a mouth and like a vertical mouth.
And these other guys tied down. They're just tied down next to this thing that's transforming. And they're just like, get us out of here!
Bites fucking Windows in the face.
I take it back. This is the most iconic scene in the movie.
Yes.
The blood test scene.
Yes.
So they torch Palmer, all of them, and then they torch Window just to be safe.
They threw a thermite bomb at him too.
Just to be safe.
And
then they finally do the tests for Childs and Gary, since Knowles has already been cleared.
Knowles has been cleared.
So at this point, it's established that all the people who are alive in this room are not the thing. All four of them. Fuck.
and Gary has the best line in the entire movie, bar none. He has the best line.
It is the best line in the movie.
Now, I know you boys have been through a lot, but when you find the time, I'd rather not spend the rest of this winter tied to this fucking couch!
So they leave him tied down. No, no, they untie him.
So all that's left is Blair.
And they're just like, alright, we gotta go find Blair. Childs, you stay behind. Why?
Best plan ever. Now that they've got everybody in one spot that they confirmed is not the bad guy, let's split up again.
Or at least don't have pairs. No, just leave Childs by himself.
Yeah. So they head out to the shed to go get Blair, and
Blair's missing.
He's gone.
He's gonzo.
He's been gone for a while, it seems.
And the
door is open. The door is open.
Yeah.
He's gone.
They go check inside, and they find a hole in the floorboards.
No, they find that some of the floorboards are loose. They pry it up. They find this pretty large underground layer, basically, where they go down into it, and, well,
it's a spaceship.
It's a spaceship that's been being pieced together, and
it's not finished yet, but it's clearly a spaceship.
And there's only one person who could be responsible.
Blair.
The guy.
It was me all along. Oh, sorry.
Oh, son of a bitch! It's me, Austin!
I was waiting
it's
for
me all along, Austin! It was me, Austin! Oh, son of a bitch!
So Childs is now all alone in the base that now has Blair in it. And he's
And the power goes out.
And the power goes.
It does.
And Childs starts walking out. And he's never seen again.
What? And then I think it's at about this point that they use a tractor to just barrel down the door.
Yeah, they're just like, it wants to be stuck in the ice with us, but we're not going to give it the chance. We're gonna kill it right here and here. We're going to destroy the base, and if we all end up dying from the cold, so be it. But at least we saved the world.
I think at some point they go down and... At some point in the movie, they go down and find that the generator is gone.
Yeah, well, no, they see the power go out, and Childs starts walking out, and like I said, he's never seen again.
So then they go back in, find that the generator is gone. I'm pretty sure they discovered this before they found the spaceship, though.
No.
No, okay, they go down into the bowels of the base to set the bombs. They find that the generator is gone and proceed further.
And so they proceed to just destroy every single room that they can find.
And then they set the bomb, and Gary goes missing because he gets attacked by Blair.
Yeah,
so it's just...
Gary's death is probably the most horrific. Honestly, it's probably the most horrific out of all of them. Because Blair just shows up behind him, Gary turns around, and Blair just sticks his hand in his mouth.
Not in his mouth.
Not in his mouth.
He just goes...
Digs his fingers into the guy's face.
Yeah.
Like over the guy's mouth to silence him. But it is clearly not a shh. It's more like a fuck up.
It's
oh.
I'm trying to figure out a good way to describe this. It's like he it's like he's wearing his face like a glove.
Like little finger gloves, like Tanner is doing right now.
Yeah.
Like a glove.
And his fingers start melding with his skin.
Obviously, he's trying to assimilate the dude. So this just leaves McCready and Knowles accounted for. And then Knowles goes off to go find something or something.
He hears a noise.
He hears a noise and goes to investigate. And he's never seen again. Like, legit.
And I just want to bring this up, because Knowles did have a death scene that was cut. So what happened was he goes to investigate, finds sort of a chest, and then Blair thing would pop out. And then we'd cut to McCready hearing a noise and looking at him. So McCready doesn't see Knowles anywhere, so he knows he's by himself. So then Knowles would pop out from underneath the ground, because the thing is attacking McCready now.
I mean, the thing pops up from underground in the final cut, but
in this alternate version, the storyboard version, Knowles is sort of still intact, but he's just sort of tentacled up, and he's like, "Oh God, Mac, kill me!" and then he bursts open with a bunch of tentacles, which would have been a really
So
cool...
basically, it's like the deleted scene from Alien.
Yeah, pretty much.
The one with Dallas?
Yes.
Yeah, that made it into the director's cut.
By the way, another great movie.
I just want to point
A lot of
out
parallels between this movie
Yeah.
and that one.
I just want to point out the probably intentional irony of Knowles opening a chest and finding a mimic.
Yeah. Pretty sure John Carpenter was a D&D player in his day.
Pretty sure he still is.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure the
So now
irony-
we've just got McCready left, and he's finished set up the bomb.
Yeah, and Blair Thing is finally just sort of a giant...
You know, fuck this, I'm gonna kill you directly. No more sneaking around, you're the only one left, I'm just gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah, that final one-liner from Kurt Russell is great. Yeah, fuck you too! Ha! Boom!
McCready manages to make it out alive, the base is destroyed, and then Child decides to show back up. It's
Oh,
like,
I'm sorry.
Hey, dude.
I guess it was wrong.
Hey, Keith David, how are you doing?
I guess I was wrong. He does show up again.
Where does he?
Oh. And so Matt's like, hey, where the fuck were you? Yeah, I got lost.
Sure you did.
He's like, well, you got any surprises for me? Any you for me? Well, I guess even if we did, we're too weak to do anything about it. So they both decide to just sit there and
just
wait.
share a drink.
And wait.
McCready offers him the bottle, takes a swig.
And McCready starts laughing and rests his head. And then we pan out to see the destroyed base, and then the credits roll.
Happy ending.
That brings up an interesting theory about Childs. Is he a thing or is he not? Because he disappeared. I still don't think he is.
But there is the theory that what McCready offered to Childs wasn't booze, but kerosene.
And it's not like...
And the thing likely...
But to be fair, McCready takes a swig from it before he offers it to Childs.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No, he didn't.
Don't think he does.
Pretty confident he doesn't. You're gonna pull it up, and you're gonna find that we're right this time around.
Either that or he takes a swig, and since he knows it's kerosene, he just fuck it.
Oh, well then that's just moving the goalposts.
Maybe, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't take a swig. I think he just offers it. I think he's about to take it, and then that's when Childs shows up.
Yeah, that actually seems to make quite a bit of sense.
Yeah.
It's a non-issue.
Yeah.
Because we at least know that he's not the thing. That's the confirmed thing, and there wasn't a plot twist that he was the thing the entire time.
So there's an alternate ending to the thing that is a lot dumber, but was made...
Oh, God, yeah.
The
No,
TV edit ending.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck that ending.
So yeah, long story short, a dog pops out from the wreckage and starts running away from the base. And that's the TV edit ending, which is fucking stupid.
Terrible.
On so many levels, because
Like, we saw it in the deleted scene section on the DVD, and we just look as like, oh, yeah, no, that's dumb, huh?
Yeah. It's just like, why would you even do that? That removes all sense of nihilism and paranoia and...
Just
like,
the,
well, I guess the aliens won, goodbye.
the potentially cliffhanger ending. No, not cliffhanger ending. The potential twist of an ending.
Yes. But, no, that's the thing. And
The vague ending. The ambiguous ending.
Yes.
There we go.
so that's the thing. 10 out of 10 movie, obviously. Oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah, no, it's at least a solid 9 from me.
And this guy has a different opinion than us.
This guy gets beat.
So, and I'm going to defend myself on this. I think that In the Mouth of Madness was a better movie.
Which is... Okay.
Don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. I would gladly rewatch The Thing anytime. It is a fantastic movie. But for me personally, I felt whelmed by it. Not overwhelmed, but not underwhelmed. Just simply whelmed by it. And I've had enough time to think about it, and I've figured out why. It's because this movie is so ingrained in pop culture that a lot of the more shocking and surprising scenes from this movie were spoiled for me.
Yeah, that's probably very true. I'm sure I knew more about the movie going into it my first time than I probably should have.
So that probably had an effect on my viewing.
Yeah.
I still found it an incredibly good film and definitely recommend watching it. But since nobody really talks about In the Mouth of Madness all that much, I went into it much more blind and was more pleased with the surprises that it had. And I feel that's why I prefer In the Mouth of Madness over The Thing.
I feel like I can respect that opinion, but you're still getting beat.
Fair point.
Would you say The Thing is a better movie overall?
Oh, definitely as just like a movie, yes.
What would you rate it?
I would give it a 9 out of 10. Yeah.
Maybe I'm just too giving with my ratings at times. I mean, I gave Star Trek 2 a 10 out of 10, but that's because I love that movie so much. And
different strokes for different folks.
Yeah. Oh my god. That movie was great. This movie is great. And here we go. The aftermath after the movie came out, just like we said, it didn't do well at the box office.
E.T., Wrath of Khan, those really hurt its box office.
I think the person who gave it who probably damaged it the most was
Roger Ebert.
Was Roger Ebert, who
Roger Ebert.
Is that what I said?
Yes.
Roger Ebert. Roger Ebert was not a fan of this movie. In fact, he downright hated it.
To be completely clairvoyant, not clairvoyant.
Fair?
No, not even fair. Just to be completely transparent, he also highly derided Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan.
But that's a shitty movie, though.
Yeah, but it's not trying to be a piece of art. And he was judging it as a piece of art. So...
No, but here's what I was getting at. Roger Ebert's opinion, even at that time, was so well respected that...
That is true. Him and Gene Siskel.
I mean, he's definitely... there's definitely movies that he's gone back and said, you know what, I was probably too harsh on this one. I don't know if he ever said anything like that about this movie.
I don't think
but just having somebody at his level saying that this movie wasn't good was probably enough to just keep people out of the theaters.
Poor John Carpenter.
Yeah, critics can really hurt a movie. For the record, I loved Godzilla King of the Monsters.
This movie...
Okay.
This movie and failing so hard was why John Carpenter stopped doing horror for a couple of years until Prince of Darkness, because he was so sort of heartbroken because he had
you could tell he put so much of himself into this movie.
I still think even Halloween considered, this is his magnum opus. I still consider this his magnum.
I think this is his best movie.
Oh yeah.
I think this blows
as legendary as Halloween was, I still think this was the better movie.
If somebody was going to ask me, hey, I've never seen a horror movie before, what should I watch? I would definitely tell them to go watch Halloween first. But this is top of the line John Carpenter.
Now, if somebody said, give me a smart science fiction movie that pulls no punches, definitely The Thing, because it definitely counts as a science fiction movie for all intents and purposes. Mm-hmm. And it's a very smart movie.
Well, I think it's about time that we start wrapping things up, probably. I think. But before we go, I mean, you guys did mention Halloween.
Yeah?
Never heard of it.
Never.
To be continued. Again. To be concluded.
And this time there are no rants.
Yeah, no, this is...
No rant. I have a rant. Peanut butter. Have you ever had it? Stuff's disgusting.
Oh, crap. Have a good one.
I have disowned you.
Have a good one, everybody.
Get the hell out of my house.
Bye.
Bye.